The Dog Who Waited Forever. The story of Hachiko's unbreakable heart. In the quiet dawn of November 1923, a small Akita puppy opened his eyes for the first time in a farm in Japan's snowy Akita prefecture. He was one of many in his litter, but fate had already chosen a special path for him. He was given the name Hachiko, the Ko meaning eighth, a number of good fortune. Far away in bustling Tokyo, a gentle and soft-spoken professor named Shibuya Ueno was longing for companionship. He lived a modest life in the Shibuya district and taught agriculture at the prestigious University of Tokyo. But more than academic success, he yearned for the warmth of a loyal friend, someone to come home to. When he heard of the rare and noble Akita breed, he decided to bring one into his life. In 1924, Professor Ueno met Hachiko for the first time. The puppy was clumsy and shy, his fur like freshly fallen snow, and his eyes curious but cautious. The professor knelt down, extended his hand, and with that one gentle touch, a lifelong bond was born. A gentle routine of love. Hachiko quickly settled into his new home. Every morning, the professor would put on his hat, gather his briefcase, and head toward Shibuya Station, always with Hachiko trotting by his side. They would walk together through the sleepy streets, the morning air crisp, the sidewalks dotted with the scent of fresh tofu and newspaper ink. At the station, Ueno would pat Hachiko's head, whisper a few words, and step onto the train. Hachiko would sit patiently, watching the train disappear into the distance, and then return in the evening, at exactly the time the professor's train came back, to greet his best friend. People started to notice. Shopkeepers, travelers, even the station workers grew fond of the loyal dog who came and went like clockwork. It became a part of Shibuya's rhythm. Morning train, evening train, and in between, a waiting dog with eyes full of love. The day that changed everything. On May 21st, 1925, everything felt like any other day. Hachiko walked his professor to the station, nuzzled him goodbye, and waited as the train pulled away. But that day, Professor Ueno never returned. While delivering a lecture at the university, he suffered a sudden cerebral hemorrhage and died. The news traveled fast, but not fast enough to reach Hachiko. As the evening train arrived, the little Akita waited, but no familiar footsteps came. No scent of home. No kind voice calling his name. Still, he waited. A lifetime of waiting. The next day, Hachiko returned to the station at the same time. And the next. And the next. It didn't matter that days turned into months, and months into years. For nearly 10 years, through pouring rain, blizzards, and the blistering heat of summer, Hachiko showed up at the station, always waiting at the exact same spot. He never missed a single day. Some people ignored him. Others tried to chase him away. But many began to care. They brought him food and water. They patted his head and told his story. Children grew up seeing him. Travelers shared tales of the waiting dog of Shibuya.
Journalists wrote about him.
He became a symbol of true loyalty in a rapidly changing world. A bronze statue was erected in 1934, while Hachiko was still alive, and at the unveiling, the old dog sat quietly beside it, not fully understanding that the world had come to love him as he loved his master. The final wait. On March 8, 1935, a cold wind swept through Tokyo. Hachiko, now old and frail, curled up near the station one last time. That morning, his heart gave out. He died alone, but not unloved, surrounded by the city that had watched him wait, and a nation that had come to see him as a symbol of pure devotion. They say he was finally reunited with Professor Ueno in the next life, his long wait rewarded. Hachiko was cremated and buried next to his beloved master in Aoyama Cemetery, just as he had wished, in the way only dogs can, through loyalty, patience, and unspoken love. A legacy that lives on. Today, Hachiko's statue still stands at Shibuya Station, a meeting point for friends, lovers, and dreamers. Each year on April 8th, people gather to honor him, placing flowers and offerings at his paws. His story has been told in books, in museums, in films, including the touching American adaptation, Hachi, A Dog's Tale, But perhaps the most powerful tribute is the quiet presence of that statue, where people pause, even if for a moment, and remember what it means to love unconditionally. Because Hachiko didn't just wait.
He believed.
And in that belief, he became eternal.